What's up, guys? So today we're going to be talking about kind of a broad subject, but even if they're broad, they're still important to know. So today we're going to talk about the goodness of God, the grace, His mercy, His forgiveness, and everything about that. Well, not everything. We can't really cover everything in one video, but so we always need to remember. We always need to be grateful. I think that's what I'm trying to say. Because gratefulness is a really good personality to have. Because, I don't know, I've been doing that lately, but, okay, so, we always need to be grateful for God. Because, if you think about it, He's done everything. He saw our path. He created us to be who we are. He's helped us. He's been merciful. He forgives us. And I am going to do a verse right now, which is, I think I've heard it somewhere, one of the most popular verses in the New Testament. Don't quote me on that, but it's John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. So, that is one, I feel like that's a quote that a lot of people know, even if they haven't read the book of John. And he cares about us. We gotta remember, he cares about us. And we gotta care about him, too. He is our life. We need to always make sure, since, I've noticed I've kind of been, looking this way, or, looking that way when I make these videos. Well, I think it's mostly this way. But we just gotta make sure to focus our gaze on God. And you don't know what's gonna happen. We sometimes sometimes I get into a loop of situations like, oh, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? And then, it's fine. God is the Holy Father. God is amazing. His grace and mercy is overwhelming. And we just need to be grateful. Since he's done so much, we need to be grateful for what he's done for us. And we can do that by following his commandments, by, I think, being a good person. I think that's one thing people need to kind of understand in our culture, since the culture's kind of shifted one way, if you know what I'm talking about. It's kind of gotten more, I think I was talking about this in a previous video. It's hard to describe, but it's gotten a little bit more rough, if that makes sense. I'm not judging anybody by saying that. I'm just saying, the overall culture's been a little bit more rough. And yeah, okay. So, it's a big world out there. It's big, and each of us probably has a different problem. And sometimes that problem can cause grief, cause pain, but it's always it's always for a reason. And we need to be grateful, because it's always for our good. Even if it seems bad, it's for a good reason. Because God cares about us. And I think that's what some unbelievers might think. Well, I'm not 100% sure on this, but God cares about each one of us. Our hairs are numbered. We just need to be grateful. We need to be thankful for breathing, really. Because anything could happen at any second, at any time. But God does it for our own good. His grace, His mercy, His kindness. Kindness is the key. And we need to be grateful. And I'm sorry if this message is kind of all over the place. I'm trying to get them organized, but it's kind of hard to, we need to, sorry. We just need to kind of figure out what's most important in our lives. And of course, our gaze, like I was talking about before, our gaze may shift a little bit, and that's okay. But you just gotta make sure that your gaze is on God. And that can be challenging sometimes, and let's be honest, not all times will be focused on God, but we just gotta make sure we get in that habit of reading the Bible, of praying, all that stuff, going to church. We just gotta make sure to try and center our gaze on God, because God is our loving. God is kindness. God is goodness, if I'm being honest. He is great. And if you notice how I'm kind of having trouble talking about describing him, it's kind of hard to describe him. But we need to form a connection. And of course, nobody's perfect, right? Like I said in a previous message, we may not think we're perfect, but we're perfect in God's eyes if we're doing our best. And I think that's important. Just remember, God is great. I'm proud of you. Thank you for watching. And hopefully I'll see you in the next one.